This little video is going to pretty much be an interesting video because, I'm realizing sometimes y'all got different things about us. Sometimes my friends and I are completely different, people wise. And I want to kind of say about a few things that sets me kind of different than a lot of people, you know. I know I promise not to criticize anyone else because, I'm not that person. I might have a little differences with some people, but, I'm not that way. So, the difference between me and my friends is the first difference. And I noticed this when I was on a job at Tark, when they had people on two different levels of education. Like, some of the clients have a high school diploma, like myself, and some have a certificate of achievement. And our levels are very, very different. Like I notice a lot of the clients, they sometimes say they can't really read. And I'm one of the lucky ones to say that I can read and write and do basic functionalities like basic math. I love reading novels and God's holy word. Yeah, it's called the Bible, technically. If you haven't figured that out. Yes, it is. And I'm reading a novel right now called Unbreakable Boy. That is that boy has osteo problems and like brittle bones and autism. But I'm reading further into it later because it gets more and more interesting as it unfolds. Because for one, I'm autistic, and I've gotten sick way well in my past. For I can't say too much, but I've gotten sick quite often, and my mom wrote in my baby book about that, saying, hey, every little thing that happened, trip to the doctor's office, the WIC's office, everything. She wrote it all, pretty much. So I found a book that sort of relates to that nature a little bit. It's going to be a little more interesting the more I read. I love people because God loves me first, unconditionally. That's the truth. Because if you have Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you know better not to criticize people. Because you know what? We all have our own quirks, our own differences. And for me, I like music. I like being in a place that I'd have a role model to look up to. And that's, by the way, that's probably one of the very few reasons I'm looking at with a job or grad school. And I'm looking at both, by the way, job and grad school on the computer, and trying to contact the universities across the nation as you got an online program for music therapy, which would be something to bring back into my old workplace called Tart, because I'm gonna say this, but the person in charge, and I'm not saying her name, privacy reasons, I'm just gonna put person in charge to kind of disguise her name. She she didn't have music in the program since a little bit before COVID. What happened with COVID is a lot of people got let go, and many people quit too. And I quit because I was in school full time, and it was no way for me to work Monday through Friday and go to school Monday through Friday. So I'm gonna be in a fight of finding a job right now. Hopefully that comes up pretty soon to work somewhere on a professional scale, and also trying to get into a music therapy program at an online school for, and trying to make a difference, go back to the old place and say, hey, I'm just going to put her as Margaret, St. Maryland, Margaret, hey Margaret, I would love to run a music program in to our campuses because these clients need help. And I'm all about helping people, by the way. And these clients need help with socialization. And the fact is, when Margaret, per se, took the program away, it helps the clients. It just keeps the clients from working all the time and no socialization's happening. Not even a break from work. Uh, if I come back, that is not going to fly with me, by the way. Because number one, she would be messing with the wrong person because I have an outgoing personality. Like, I believe in socialization. I believe in getting people together. I believe in having a music group. And so much more. Having performances where we can gather. Having pizza parties when it was acceptable. Things like that. It keeps these clients working. Makes them happy in the end. I am brave because I knew I had courage to do things on my own when my mom can't be there. That's a lot of truth on that one, because there are times when my mom can't go to the urgent care but when I'm sick and I need help. And the fact is, there's a lot of sick people in that urgent care building, by the way, day in, day out. And a lot of times, it gets to the point where I get sick, she'll just dump me off, say, hey, go sign yourself in, go get yourself treated. I'll pick you up after. And I'll usually just text her or call her on this here. Say, hey, mom or dad, I'm done. Come pick me up. They're faxing the stuff over at Walgreens, which Walgreens is my pharmacy, by the way. But not a thing where, because it's a whole chain of them. So, anyways. And I just tell them, say, hey, this is what they say, blah, 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 and what they gave me. And I could go in my chart to get the information as I need it, I know how to use a cell phone, a computer, a tablet, and a game console. That's the very truth of it. Because the fact is, not many people know about how to set up a phone on their own. Set up an iPad on their own. Set up even a computer on their own, pretty much. And I've been to much exposure, especially this iPad, which I'm videoing from right now. I knew how to set it up because I knew my iCloud information. Like iTunes iCloud information. And I know my Wi-Fi password, which is the two things it asks for a lot of the time to be able to bypass it just like that. And once I got to the 2 steps on the iPad here, I know phone to phone. I know how to put the phones together. Let's say I get a new phone, upper model of this here. I know how to put this phone and my old phone close together. And it gets all my data that way. And it gets me logged onto passwords everywhere. And what also sets me different, that I have a high school diploma and a bachelor's degree. And I'm looking into, what I just said earlier, a master's degree for music therapy. Which I said in the previous video that sometimes a high school diploma or GED opens up many, many doors. But I think also the fact is the jobs on the client level of TARC should be the same as the staff members. Because when clients have people that are on different levels, like some have a high school diploma and some have a certificate of achievement, it does make it more and more difficult to have a say on some things. For me, I can write my own names just because of that. And luckily, I'm thankful for that too. And I think as I was looking at the job board on like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, In many other job sites, the high school diploma in the GED or GED situations for some of the entry jobs are like a necessity. Even if universities too, if you go into Nichols, if you go into LSU or any school that's near you, you gotta have the high school diploma or a GED for the matter because it is part of your admissions. And sometimes it might ask for your transcript. That's why do you need that proof of graduating high school with the appropriate stuff? Or if you've been in college before, like I have, between Fletcher and Nichols, I had to have 2 copies of transcripts. One was Fletcher, one was NSU. And nowadays, when I order the copies of those transcripts, I keep them now in a folder in case, let's say, something pops up and I need to scan it. Thus, I do have a copy of it on my phone somehow, some way to get to it. So, smart idea. I can carry a conversation a mile away. And I love to talk to people. Because you know why? Life is about socializing. We are humans. We socialize in our own ways. Yeah, the world can't see that sometimes disabled people in a weird way, but I don't care about that. Because you know what? Because a lot of my friends see me as normal. For the love of God. So yeah, let this be a little bit of a pinpoint for the people wanting to get professional jobs. They must be accepted for who they are and learn how to adapt to those things, you know. And that's my dream right there. Is to be able to learn to adapt in the professional world. And to be able to work alongside professionals without being criticized. Like, just because I do things different, just because I talk to myself, just because I fuss and I scream. At times I'm frustrated, you know, that doesn't give them enough rights to do so. You know, there must be a way to calm people down when they get into those situations. And I can be a good listener, and that's a good part of being a good friend. I know a lot of people really love listening to people. Like, yeah, sometimes I may say things a little out of hand at times, you know. But that's okay. We all do, right? But sometimes I have to learn to be a good listener. Point blank. And sometimes if they say no, I gotta move on. I gotta respect what they say. And I can't push, so. I am loyal with everyone. And loyal with everyone meaning the fact is, you know, I'll do whatever I'm told to do, you know. And also the fact, and I'll tell you one thing about being brave, too. Go back on my points a little bit. Being brave is a lot of things for some people. Like, being brave to go to a dance, which I did at earlier last month. I went to Night to Shine on my own and tried to have some fun. And I really feel like at the end of the night, I'm always having fun, you know, instead of sitting around at home for once. Another instance of bravery was going to the dentist's office and not having no headphones to, you know, to use with, when they were doing my teeth cleaning the other day. And by the way, I started finding this out with my dentist, that they do cleaning every time and they bill the insurance every time, which I'm thankful. Because this is one time I went to my dentist and I was charged almost $70 for teeth clean. And what it is, Nowadays, now, when I go there now, they got to bill Medicaid and they get it covered pretty much through here. Say, hey, look, you're covered already. You don't have to pay anything extra. And I wish they do the same with eye care because I have borderline glaucoma. And my family members, some of them have glaucoma, so that's a nightmare. But hey, it's one step at a time, and some things will change. You never know. See you next time.